So, one of the things that people never talk about is when it's not good to brand. It's always good to, people want to be out there, put their pictures out there and all that. And it's good to kind of stay relevant and active, but be careful when you are like really branding and saying what you do and things like that. Because if you're not going to actually do that consistently, then you should not be branding. Like I said, for me, I would say for 3 years, I was out there and consistent, but people would always say, what is it actually that you do? And for me, that was perfectly fine because I didn't want them to know because I wasn't sure what I was committed to doing anyway. And so that was my point. I'm not saying don't brand. I'm just saying kind of be low key about it. Just be relevant in the industry that you're in. But you don't have a lot of time to just come out the box and say, hey, this is me. Because once you say this is you, people will stick to that. And if you change it too many times in a certain time period, then you lose credibility. No one will ever tell you. It'll be in people's actions. And like when certain people in the marketplace decide to do things or have projects, they're not going to actually like bring you up because they're going to be like, we don't even know what this person is doing anyway. And I mean, this is real. I've been in those conversations. I've heard them. When people talk about speakers or looking for a vendor on something, and if the person's name comes up who has this type of brand, this is what's said. So I'm not telling you just because I'm saying, hey, Shauna is the know-it-all about branding. No, I have been at the table when the person's name that does this type of thing comes up, and I'm like, oh man. And I know that they're good people. It's just that they kind of were trying to figure it out. And I'm not saying don't say you're not going to do certain things. So it's just like really, really tricky when you're going to do it. Here's the other time you shouldn't brand. You shouldn't brand if you're not willing to listen. If you already have in your mind your own ideas of what you want to do for your branding, then you should probably DIY it. You shouldn't hire somebody and then come and tell them how you want things done, because then it didn't make sense for you to hire them in the first place if you're not going to listen to them, right? And I've had that happen. And a lot of times I'll say, this is just not going to be a good fit for me because I want to give you something kind of what I'm gifted at. Doesn't mean I'm always right, but I'm going to try it a couple different ways in the realm of what I do, not the realm of what you do. Brainstorming is great, but behind branding and marketing, there's a lot of science that sometimes doesn't make sense, but it's actually really true. So never brand if you're not ready to like listen, or if you're not coachable. If you're really like stuck on how you want things done, it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter if you went to all kind of marketing schools. It doesn't matter, because it's really, really hard to see yourself in the best light because you never see yourself the way the public does. It's good to be authentic, but you still should have an outside opinion with some outside assistance on bringing who you truly are to light. Because when I tell you that we never see ourselves as who we really are, in a good way, as the public, and having someone else bring out and say what's really awesome about you makes it 100 times better. I can't even tell you how many, like the whole video thing for me has been the work, effort, and appreciation and belief and coaching of a group of interns and a couple people that I've hired to tell me what I need to say, how I need to say it, how I need to project, where I need to stand, what type of backgrounds. Shauna, you're really good at this. You should say this, and this is how you should say it. You should add this. I didn't tell them what I want to do. I had an idea, but I just followed their lead, because sometimes you just got to be open to that. And the last thing I want to say, and this is kind of like, this is from experience. This is not just me coming up with these. This is like working with people over the last 5 to 7 years. Branding is a foundation. It is not the lead generation part. You will get leads from doing it from a certain amount of time. It's like it's not something that happens overnight, but you have to add marketing to the branding. But if you're going to hire someone like as a branding person slash business development, where they introduce you to people, they take you out, you still have a lot of work to do. Just because you have somebody like this on your team does not mean that as the person meeting them, you don't have to follow up, take them to lunch, get to know them and build a relationship. The brander or business development person is only the door opener. Now, if you have a marketing person that's your relations and their job is to handle the whole relationship, great. Yes, total expectation. But just business development to bring you in the door, and ask me how I know about that one. So many times I bring people to the door, open the door, started, but then you just have to be great at who you are. And it doesn't mean you have to be somebody you're not, and it doesn't even mean you have to like the person. It does mean, though, you have to do the work, and there's a lot of work in building relationships, and it takes a lot of patience. So thank you for joining me today. I'm loving the IGTV. And if you haven't done it yet, you should try it. I think it's going to be great because it just started. So what a great way to get on a platform and start building your following. Happy branding.